Hello everybody, and thank you for watching Killer Whale, change the way you trade. We're having an interesting couple of developments here in the Bitcoin market. What I'd like to talk about today, a couple of things, different perspectives on what is going on with Bitcoin at the moment. As you can see here, we have left the first parabolic trend that we had been following since, November of last year approximately. You'll notice the circle at the bottom. That is where KillerWhale identified the breakout zone for this current trend that we've been in. You'll notice we've been having downward sloping consolidation since May of this year. Another thing you'll notice is the top target on this from the breakout zone is around $140,000 to $150,000. We've been stuck in this downward sloping area after topping out at the 3.618 Fibonacci extension level. We've come back down to the 1.618 Fibonacci extension level and have just kind of been using this line as support ever since. Here we have Bitcoin in a descending channel that we've been following approximately since the end of May, beginning of June. We have an RSI downtrend that has been in formation since the beginning of this year on January 1st. You'll notice we have never been able to break this line, and now we are possibly coming to a point where we could break it now. We've been testing this point for quite some time, and it looks like Bitcoin is wanting to break out of this area. Time will tell, of course. We did have some hidden bullish MACD divergence forming on the MACD histograms, but it was kind of rejected by a histogram forming that was equally as low as the previous negative histogram. Next, we're going to take a look at this Wyckoff reaccumulation schematic that we've been following for quite some time now. You'll notice it's reaccumulation, rectangle kind of pattern. We did form a bullish bat pattern inside this structure, and you'll notice just a couple days ago we did bounce off of that level. This is an incredibly bullish scenario happening in a bearish type of structure, but you'll notice that the breakout point when Bitcoin went below $30,000, that was pretty much an area where we could have capitulated down further, but it's an incredibly bullish sign that we have bounced off of this level yet again, signifying that there is much support in this area, much more support than we initially had thought there was. Next, we're going to take a look at the US dollar currency index. This is zoomed out, and you'll notice there's been a downward sloping trend line with confluence back to the inception of the DXY in 1973. For me, this is an area where we could eventually break the support that the DXY has been finding, and in the next little bit here, we could probably see anywhere from 91 to 91.50 out of the DXY. Just a little zoomed into the DXY. So you'll notice we have been bouncing off of the sloping trend line. We have been finding support for the DXY at the zone of ultimate confluence, and you'll notice we have been bouncing, finding support for the DXY. Again, we are coming up to an area that could find resistance, so I wouldn't be surprised if the DXY came back down to around 91 to 91.50 in the coming days and weeks here. Bitcoin dominance topped out earlier this year at 73.65% on January 3rd and has since capitulated all the way back down to the area we sit now, which is around 46 to 48 on the Bitcoin dominance scale. You'll notice we've been finding resistance at the Fibonacci 236 on the way back up, and if Bitcoin would want to break higher, it would mean that Bitcoin could outpace the altcoins for a little while here. As we've all seen, the altcoins have been taking a hit, so if Bitcoin dominance decided to rise, we could see Bitcoin outpace altcoins for a period of time. This is the total chart on the weekly time scale. The total is the total market cap of all cryptocurrencies combined. You'll notice the breakout point, which was last year, and ever since then we've been following this parabolic trend upward. Of course, we've been having quite the correction in this amount of time, and we could see targets all the way up to around $3.6 trillion for the total chart for all cryptocurrencies some point in the future. All signs pointing to before 2023 we would be approaching that mark. This is the total 2 chart. Total 2 chart forms somewhat of a head and shoulders pattern after topping out around $1.5 trillion. Price has capitulated and come back down to the level of confluence where we have been finding support ever since. Now you'll notice we had a bullish engulfing candle as printed as the day before yesterday's candle, and we have been seeing some follow through price action from this. Thanks for joining us. Make sure to hit that like button, that sub, that bell. And we'll see you next time. KillerWhale, change the way you trade.